Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to The Voice of the Times this Monday, February 22, 2021. For today's editorial, guard against complacency, but choose normality and vitality. Amid the highly encouraging news that Food and Drug Administration approved and clinically tested vaccines against COVID-19 are proving to be very effective and that new COVID cases have come down during the past 5 weeks, the world's countries will momentarily face a choice between 1. Keeping their guard up by maintaining controls and protocols designed to contain the pandemic, and 2. Going full speed into normalization in order that life can return to dynamism in both the economy and society. It is entirely natural and reasonable that after a whole year of the health crisis and countless lockdowns, national communities will greet the good news with euphoria and expect their governments to facilitate a return to normality. The fork in the road is not that simple, however. The people of every country must choose what is best for them under their particular circumstances and needs. The World Health Organization, or WHO, has prudently issued a cautionary statement, saying that the world is still not out of the woods in the pandemic, and now is not the time for people to let their guard down. In a briefing held on Thursday, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said last week registered the lowest number of reported weekly cases since October 2020. Since the beginning of 2021, the number of reported weekly cases has fallen by almost half, from more than 5 million at the beginning of January to 2.7 million in the week starting February 8. This shows that simple public health measures work even in the presence of variants, Ghebreyesus said. Alongside the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, the WHO on Monday authorized 2 versions of the AstraZeneca-Oxford COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use. These latter have the green light to be rolled out globally through COVAX, a WHO-led international initiative for equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines for all, particularly for the low and middle-income countries. Other vaccines, developed by Chinese companies Sinopharm and Sinovac, are also currently undergoing evaluation. At Thursday's briefing, Tedros called on vaccine manufacturers to scale up production and submit its dossiers to the WHO for review at the same time that these are submitted to regulators in high-income countries. Other WHO officials underscored the need for caution. Dr. Mike Ryan, Executive Director of the WHO Health Emergencies Program, said that while some countries have been progressing with its rollout of COVID-19 vaccines, vaccine production and vaccination at the current scale are still far from enough to stop transmission of the coronavirus. Ryan emphasized that simple and basic public health measures such as washing hands, wearing face masks, and keeping physical distance still play a crucial role in controlling infections. He said at Thursday's briefing that almost all countries and certainly all regions are seeing a downward trend in newly confirmed COVID-19 cases, and this needs to continue to be supported. He warned that in springtime, people in the Northern Hemisphere will increasingly want to celebrate various festivals and holidays after more than a year of pandemic fatigue. "We have to be very careful. We're certainly not out of the woods yet," he stressed. Dr. Mariangela Shimao, Assistant WHO Director General for Access to Medicines, Vaccines, and Pharmaceuticals, cautioned that this is not the time to let our guard down because COVID-19 cases that come down in some countries could go up again. This is certainly sound advice, but it should not handcuff the hands of policymakers and health authorities amid the breakthrough in vaccine development and huge decrease in COVID cases. Our best take on this situation is that every country, including our own, should look squarely at its particular pandemic situation and design appropriate policies to sustain the process of recovery and normalization. Making the community quarantine or lockdown and restrictions permanent or as some kind of new normal is not the sensible way to go. The better choice will always be national normality and return to full vitality. And that's the editorial for Monday, February 22, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to The Voice of the Times.